Hey folks, time for another update video on Terralife and Maze Plus and FS22. So this is mostly a summary of the stream slash podcast that the Alien Paul and I did last week. First thing is a thank you to Paul for helping me sort these videos and checking them and giving me all the pictures and things that you will see as we go through this video. Really appreciate your help on that one. The other first thing is a correction to the last video on how greenings and compost and things will work. So the idea of the greenings, and I'll have a shot of what they look like on the screen now, is that either you use the Novag to no-till in your crops into them, or you run a mulcher or a disc harrow over them and knock down the greenings, and so you're adding in the biomass into the soil to help add nutrients to the soil for plants and for worms and mushrooms and things like that. So basically it's about improving the soil quality. For the compost, you're looking at using things like hedge cuttings, and the roadside grass is what they're intended for. So as part of Terralife, the farming agency are adding in new textures for verges and roadside crops and headlands and things. So the idea is that you cut those and you can make compost along with all the other things that you can use to make compost, and you could, I think, still pick up the greenings to make compost as well. Next, what maps are we going to see with Terralife? So as we said in the last video, Terralife is not going to be a mod. It is going to be built into maps, and the farming agency are only going to support it being built into their own maps and a few of their key partners. So we're going to be seeing Burgish Land, which is the map I have playing in the background. That's going to be one of their first maps, probably. We are going to see Holzer map, Subusum, I think. I have no idea how you pronounce that. That's based on a real farm, and the farming agency and Alien Paul are working with the owner of that farm to update the map so that it reflects how the farm is now, which is awesome. Try and stick a couple of pictures of that on the screen. Charwell is going to be getting an update, which will include mowable hedges and collision-free hedges, which gets rid of some of the problems I had playing on that map. Some of the gates in the yards were really small. Old Alp map, which is from Modleischer, which is an FS09 or something like that map, is going to be getting a complete rebuild for FS22. And Chaos Camp, which is another old map, I think FS17, is going to get a rework as well. On top of that, Oxy's maps are going to be coming, and Lance's maps and Map Italia. Any other modders that want to use the map will have to take the template map that the farming agency are going to produce first and do their own updates to their maps, which Paul will then check for them and give them approval to release or not. So there will likely be a lot less maps that get Terralife, and as I said, it is not a mod. It is going to be built into the maps. It's going to have some really cool features. So we're just going to run through a few of those now. So the first one, much like Maze Plus, is we're going to be getting branded DSV seeds and signs to put in your field once you've planted the seeds. So the seeds are all based on real crops that farmers could buy and plant. And on top of all the standard crops, there are winter and summer greening mixtures for your cover crops. So those will die off at different points to support planting your crops in the field at the right time. Much like Maze Plus, the latest version, we're getting all of the Doika branded animal feeds, but also we will be getting some Doika silos and buy points, which are on the screen now, and possibly Doika branded vehicles to support delivery of those as well, which is going to be awesome. Another thing that's going to be built into the map is delivery of crops and forage to the farmyard. So a bit like store deliveries, but you can bulk buy wheat, TMR or whatever, and have it delivered to the yard. The idea is that it can cover a short-term gap in your feed supply. So buying small amounts is fairly economical, but it gets much more expensive if you're buying a lot. To discourage you from just relying on that and making your own feed. But if you've got a shortfall or you're getting started in the game, it's a way of getting some feed for you. Last point is there will be some graphical improvements in the game, and they're going to be trying to get a finer grid on the map. So underlying the map is a grid structure which controls all the crop planting and textures and things. And you may have noticed that if you're using a small plow or something, or a small planter, you actually end up planting slightly wider, because that's how the game works with the grid underneath it. And because the guys in the farming agency like playing realistic small scale farming, they're implementing this smaller grid so that it better reflects how they like to play, and it will also let them have some better quality textures, because the texture mapping will be on a finer grid. Other graphical improvements, they are planning to change the render distances of things so that you'll see things further off, like trees won't blur out so quickly, that kind of thing. That will mean that if you're running on a lower end PC, you might struggle with the Terralife maps. But that's what they're planning to do. They want to make it look better, basically. I think that's everything that I wanted to cover today. So we will be doing another of the stream/podcasts on Thursday, I think. No idea what Paul plans to cover, but we will find out. Hopefully there'll be some new interesting things. And I'll probably do another summary video after that. So thanks for watching. If you're not already, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, like, comment, and I will catch you next time.